Okay, this way.
Yes, it's fine.
Okay.
We're live. Okay, guys, good morning to you, or good day, good evening, wherever you're listening in from. Welcome, folks, to another edition of Audio Wheels, a show where we feature recording artists. We listen to their music and you get to give feedback if you want. My name is Makcit Purple Diva Ringdap, your anchor, and this is Click Naija Radio. Okay, all right. So on this edition, we are taking a different dimension. Our guest today is a spoken word performer, a poet, if you will. All right, join me in welcoming Hader Otaki. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right, you're welcome. All right, guys. So you know how we do. If you have any comments, if you have any questions for our guests or for me, even you can also always do that in the comment section. Okay, we're live on Facebook and on YouTube. Okay. So once again, welcome to the program.
Thank you
Quick
very much.
question, right?
Yeah.
Notorious B.I.G. or Rakim?
BIG.
Do you know why I asked?
No.
Okay, so people think these two are one of the greatest lyricists ever in
Okay.
hip hop, especially. So that's why I asked out of these two. So, but
Okay.
why did you choose Notorious B.I.G.?
If you had asked between Tupac and BIG, I think I would have gone for Tupac.
Tupac.
Yeah, I'm a Tupac
Oh,
person. Yeah.
oh, okay. So
Yeah.
what is it now about Tupac that makes him better than Notorious B.I.G. for you?
Because people have their own preferences, but for me, Tupac is more of like for the streets, and I understand where he's coming from.
Okay,
You
you can
understand? So yeah,
relate
I
to
can
his
relate.
lyrics.
Yeah, I can relate to his lyrics.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Biggie is good. Is good. For me, I think he's the second best compared to Tupac. But
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
but Tupac any day.
All right,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so yeah, before we get into the details, getting to know you, like
Okay.
your name. The name for those who probably don't see it is spelled Hader,
Yeah.
then Otaki. All right. So
Mm.
tell us about the name. What's the origin?
Okay, the name actually how to pronounce is Hader Otaki. So the Hader means father in Alago tribe.
Okay, Alago is from where?
Alago is from Natural State.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. All right. Okay. So why the choice to spell it differently? I mean, why didn't you just leave it Ada?
Okay, back then in secondary school, I used to spell it ADA, but at a point I just thought that, okay, Ada in Igbo name is also spelled ADA.
ADA.
So I just thought of it. I think it was my junior class, my junior year. So I just changed it creatively. I just thought about it and I changed it to
Okay.
HADR.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So now let's get to know you, right? And
Okay.
spoken word. How did that start for you?
Let me see. To
Did
be
you did
honest,
you did you stumble upon it, or it was a deliberate thing? You wanted to do poetry.
I can't even tell. I cannot remember a time that I wasn't reading or writing. To be honest, I think it was in my primary five.
Okay.
So back then, my classmates used to send me to this post office where my school is located. It's inside a barrack. So
Okay.
yeah, anytime I take a letter to the post office, I was captivated that I could use word to communicate that far, even as a young lad then. Yeah,
Oh,
so I think that's where everything
interesting.
started for me.
That's really
Yeah.
interesting. Like it's really interesting. Okay.
But as of then, I didn't know that it. Okay, I think it wasn't poetry per se. It was
Okay.
more or less like letter
Just
writing
yes,
and all.
words
Yeah,
writing.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But in secondary school, that was when I discovered poetry.
Okay. All right. So so how did the journey now your poetry journey actually begin?
Okay, in my junior school,
Mm-hmm.
that was when I started writing poetry. As of then, there was this thing we call greeting card then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
so all those like whenever I want to like maybe send a message or postcard to someone, I'll go to like the store,
So
get
yeah.
a postcard and send. So then I thought to myself that I could actually write stuff like this, and that was when I started. Then secondary school, I took it very very serious.
Seriously.
Yeah, I
Okay.
took it very very serious. I was supposed to represent my school back then when I was in SS3, but I didn't get to go again. But I wrote a poem. That was my first official poem.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So how long now would you say you've been doing it? Like officially now?
Officially
Officially, professionally, how long have you
or
been doing it?
professionally,
Yeah.
that was in my university days.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was in 2010.
2010.
Yeah,
So let's
2000.
say 11 years
Yeah,
now.
yeah, professionally. Yeah,
Oh, that's really
yeah.
cool. Okay, so you're a writer, right? Besides poetry, what else do you write?
I write fictional tell. Yeah, fictions.
Fiction.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, that's cool. So, guys, I'm chilling here with Hader Otaki. He's a spoken word performer and a writer. So we're going to listen to
Okay.
his work, like one of them for now. Yeah. So if you have any comments, questions, accolades, you can post it in the comment section. Okay. So yeah, this one is titled
This.
"This Place." Yeah, this place. And if we listen, you will tell us about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It's loading. It's loading. It's loading. All right. Okay.
Election day as if the constitution is not.
Okay.
We tabled our grievances before the parliament, and we are told to wait for election day as if the constitution is not emphatic enough. We ripped the anchor that binds us as brothers as if the ship has no port. We come, open-hearted, bleeding red wine from all the celebration of our acoustic faith. We waited too long beside the bucket of ideas we're afraid to drink from. Now we are drowning in an empty pool because water is too little for our sinking bodies. Everyone in this city of the apparition is waiting on the tide of hope to resurrect the giants of our father's land. But here we are, weakened from all the battles we failed to fight because our limbs are broken from procrastination, stagnant from the lift resilience we are known for. And now, the wheels of change are oiled for locomotion, for consolation of our voices to sing us into the realm of the new dawn. For unity is what makes the broom a tool for cleansing. So let's hold hands like chain, braid our differences into a cornrow, not because you are Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, Alago, or Idoma, but as one nation, the people of color of God existing in this place, only we must make habitable. This place that has taught us how to be unbreakable, how to be at our boiling points and not melt under the sun, how to navigate our strength in the right direction like compass. This place, this green, never-ending flatlands of natives happening at the same time. To be here is to know the color of love is green, for no matter how dangerous the forest is, the mouth cannot leave it for the sea. Learning how to live together is what we are created for, because the future depends on our survival for the next generation to bloom. So let this poem be a revitalization of courage that will paddle us safely out of this turbulence of past mistakes.
Wow, yeah, a lot of things in just 2 minutes. Yeah. Okay, so tell us about this place now. I mean, me, I'm thinking, is this place referring to the land that is Nigeria, or what exactly is this place?
Yeah, this place actually means Nigeria.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, I got
Okay.
that. All right.
So the poem, few months ago,
Mhm.
a friend hooked me up with someone in BBC.
Okay.
Yeah, so they asked me to write a poem to describe my notion, the way as it seems, political view of Nigeria. So
Okay.
I took time out and I wrote this piece. And the first time I performed it was with BBC
Okay.
Media Action. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that was a few months ago.
Okay.
And listening to it right now, just
like you're also taken aback by your own words. Yeah,
exactly.
it's good. It's a lot of things. But what were the major concepts or major happenings that inspired this piece? Like, I mean, they told you to write, but of course you drew from a couple of
Yeah, exactly.
inspirations, right? So what are things that inspired this piece?
Okay, the first thing that came to my mind when I was writing this poem was the event that happened October 20th at Lekki Toll Gate. You know, I thought about the lives that were lost that very day. So that's why the first one was like, we tabled our grievances before the parliament, and we are told to wait for election day as if the constitution is not emphatic enough. So with that, I also thought about this bill they passed in the assembly, where they said that you're not too young to rule. Yeah, exactly. So even we taking our grievances before them, they always tell us that we should wait for the election and do all of that. So that was one of the things that inspired the piece. And I didn't want to come from this place where we are always writing or performing Anglo poems about Nigeria and everything, or maybe some vulgar words and everything. So I wanted it to come from a place where, okay, like there's hope, no matter what, no matter, yeah, exactly, no matter the chaos that we are facing right now, there's hope So I wanted also to reflect in that poem, and that's what gave birth to that poem.
Oh, this is really beautiful.
Yeah,
Really,
thank you.
really beautiful. All right, so guys, if you have any comments on this particular piece, this place, you can share it in the comment section. Okay, let me know what you think. But we're still moving on. All right, well, this is still Audio Wheels exclusive to Click Naija Internet Radio. My name is Makcit, and I'm chilling today with Hader Otaki. He's a spoken word performer and a writer. Okay, we just listened to one of his pieces. We listened to another one.
Okay.
In the course of the program, but before then, let's talk to you a bit. All right.
Okay.
So what has been the for you, like what has been the reception of your spoken word, your art?
Okay.
Yes, in general and maybe specifically to where you're Abuja based.
Yeah, I'm Abuja
Okay,
based.
so it's in general and like in Abuja specifically now, how would you say the reception of poetry, spoken word has been?
Okay, the spoken word. Okay, let me put it this way. I relocated back here to Abuja 2 years ago. That was in 2019.
Okay.
Okay, before then I was in Lagos, and
Okay.
I've always been writing. Friends will tell you that, man, this is great. Anytime I write a piece, they always tell you that this is great, this is whatever. But sometimes as a writer, you want to like a criticism outside your cycle. So when I moved down here 2 years ago, that was in 2019. My first performer was at ALS.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I performed the piece, Give Me a Word. And this, I don't know, maybe you know DK Chukwumerije.
Yeah,
I've heard. Yeah, there's something is said, and that actually, because that was my first time meeting him.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my first time meeting him. And the comment I got from the audience actually told me something that, yeah, I'm actually on the right track.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes as a writer, aside from your cycle of friends, you need people to also criticize you that, okay, what you're doing. It's not as if the criticism is always good sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not always, good, but that doesn't stop you from writing anyway or performing.
Okay, so what keeps you writing and performing? Despite sometimes that the critiques may not be great all the time. What keeps you writing?
Let me say the environment, people that I come across.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially the environment. I'm a nature person.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm a nature person. Yeah, the environment.
Okay, so the next piece, is it based on nature?
Yeah, no, the next piece is based on racism, religion.
Ah, okay. So you're a political person. You're a socially conscious person. Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. All right. So let's just take a listen to the next one. It's about 4 minutes long, but we'll not listen to the whole thing, just to get a vibe of it. All right. So this next one is called "Give Me a Word." Yeah. All right. So let's take a listen, people.
From the rising sun of the old Biafra to the Apathy soil in Soweto and the genocide land of Rwandan children, give me a word. Give me a word to name all the places I have never been. Build me a word to fill all the people that come from the place I come from. The streets of our lives are paved with colors of smile from the people of the south. The hills of the Zuma rocks brimming mist of people from the north. The cultural kingdom of Ilefe dynasty people of the west. And the glistening bare skin of sweat cascading from faces of those warriors from the east. Give me a word. Give me a word to tell the stories of my ancestors, the ones that were raped and whipped into slavery in their own lands, the ones that drowned in the sea trying to swim back home, how we are pumped to the rim with the hymns of lies, and of an African child who is born glistening in the sun with shooting stars in his eyes, only to be dulled with foreign edited scriptures. Give me a word. Give me a word to take down these borders they built to prevent us from getting to the truth. How they stampeded the altars of our shrines and scattered away with our youth. This God they invented to numb our minds, and the audacity to call that religion they brought to our shore submission. We save Naira and Kobo and travel to their land to bow to their ancestors, while we leave the shrines of our God bare of worship. If their gods are fair, why is the color of my ancestors not included in the prophet of their holy gospel? This is what centuries of painting us black has achieved. These are many more the fear we might eventually perceive. So they erased our God and built a cathedral of fiction in our nation. Give me a word.
There are lots of things that
Give
you
me a
know.
word to tell this budding generation that our root is not evil and our forefathers were not heathens. We must change the narrative for the next generation. Free our limbs and ankles from the shackles of these foreign invaders that held our body and soul too long in their holy communion. We must free ourselves from this ablution they make us observe before entering their temples to prostrate and chant to their prophet of whiteness. We must go back home to the shrines and beg forgiveness of our oracles, the ones with the real miracles. Strip ourselves clean of this name they burnt into our skin. Let's now wear the cloak of our Father's name like a fashion for the new age. We must learn centuries of lies told in the holy books, where my kind are boarded, sheep and sold in their temple of worship. Give me a word. Give me a word to reclaim the lost dignity of our mothers, our sisters, our daughters, the one they come in the night and eat gluttonously till nothing is left but frails. To unlock the cages they imprisoned our fathers, our brothers, our sons for roaming free in their own farms. To halt the wheels of centuries upon centuries of race blackmail. Just give me a word to build a new world. One race, one religion, one God. Give me a word, please.
Wow. Like, I'm not typically a fan of poetry, like, but I have my moments,
Okay.
and especially where I'm able to follow the line of thoughts. And I think I really, really like this one. There are lots of things raised. At the point, I'm like, huh? But then I liked it. There was balance. There was balance to it in your ideas and in the message you were trying to project. It touched on several things. So, but just tell us about it.
Okay. Give Me a Word was a poem I started some years ago, back then in Lagos. It was the title that first came to me, Give Me a Word.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the title. Then I started thinking about it. For months, I couldn't just get the line together, but the title was always there. So 2 years ago, that was when I completed it.
Okay.
290, yeah, I completed it 290. So what I was trying to project in that piece was, I had this friend back there in the US. She's a Black American, so she hated America so much. She hated the country so much. She just wanted to relocate back to Africa. So she's always telling me things about the way the racism in America and everything. So I took from everything she was telling me. Then about the killing in the country in Nigeria, I also took from that part also, because there's always this tribal war, religious war and everything, because I always thought that how could someone, a Black person, look at another person, just kill that person because you feel that person doesn't share your faith or so that was what I was trying to project in the piece.
Okay. So but then you talked about leaving our shrines empty. What was for you, why was that symbolic? I know did you mean it literally?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah, for real. Okay, this is what happened. The former president of Ghana, Rawlings, there was this interview, right? He was saying that we should, whenever anybody does anything bad, that instead of taking that person to court, let's take the person to the shrine and let that person swear that
by the gods. Okay.
But if you should take an African man to the shrine or to the court, you will prefer the court than going to the shrine, because you know that, okay, if you should swear by any god or maybe by your shrines and everything, it might actually happen to you. Something bad might just happen to you.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I meant by that.
Okay, so you feel like, as Africans, we've left
our
own realness, our own authenticity.
Exactly, and we embrace the foreign ideas.
Okay. All right, guys, if you have any comments on Otaki's poetry, on his ideas and messages in his poems, you can share in the comment section. Okay. But the conversation, of course, continues after this. All right.
Okay.
So this is not the end, but yeah, we're still here. Audio Wheels. I am Makcit, and this is Click Naija Radio. All right. So we're rounding up gradually, but we still have a couple of more questions for you.
Okay.
All right. So poetry, spoken word, is this an art form that you feel more people should be interested in, more people should be participating in?
Yeah, I think it is because for me, I think poetry started from the very first time that God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. You
Okay.
understand? The old earth, the old galaxy, everything was created by spoken word poetry. No, I mean, if you think about it, yeah. Yes, and so for me, I think God is like the first spoken word poet, and we that we are doing it right now, we're just following his footsteps.
Footsteps. Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. All right, guys. So you hear, if you want to be next to God, closer to God, embrace poetry, embrace spoken word. Okay, but for you, what do you think makes spoken word more appealing, like to people? What's the appeal to people? Like if you perform in, like you said at ALS,
Yeah.
what was the appeal for, do you think, to people?
I think for me is the play words, how you play with words,
Words,
the
yeah.
metaphor, the meter and everything. So
Yeah.
once you understand, once someone, that's why when I tell people that look, spoken word poetry is a different thing entirely. You understand? Because once you have someone performing on stage, the whole room will be quiet. Everyone wants to listen to what you're saying, right? So once you understand the play words, the metaphor and everything, you grab that, it appeals to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what is your vision for your spoken word journey now? What's the goal for you?
Well, in the next 2 or 3 years from now, I want to see myself performing internationally.
Ooh, and it would happen. It would happen. It's just one thing, yes,
Yeah.
and it will just happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so somebody on my on my WhatsApp said, "Do you believe in your African spirituality? In your African spirituality, literally?"
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. I had this uncle. He's late now. You know, because we call them pagans and everything. I hate that word by the way. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But he's not a Christian or a Muslim, and I think he's the purest of person that I've ever met. To be honest with you, like he will never take anything that doesn't belong to him, and he will always tell you the truth, no matter how difficult it is.
Okay.
You understand? So then, then when we were still kid, we used to like see that this man is just talking, just so.
But as you grew,
but as you grew up, you start like taking things from whatever he had said before, and you know that there's this content, there's this truth in whatever he was saying.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. So Emmanuel Tokwe, you hear that? Okay. He says he actually takes
Yeah.
his African spirituality seriously, literally. All right. So with writing, what inspires? You said you're a nature person, right?
Yeah.
But for in general, what inspires poetry? What inspires you to write? To keep writing?
How am I gonna put it? You can actually put your finger on just one thing. I think it's Sarah. So sometimes it could just be a microphone that inspired you, or eyeglasses, or maybe from you having a conversation, just the way we're having a conversation. It could just be something that you said, a line or something, that would just spark something in you and you just write.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
I remember one particular, that was some years ago. I think that was like in the early 2000s. And I literally woke up from sleep and I wrote a poem. Wow. Yeah, literally. I just woke up and it came to me. I woke up and I just wrote it, and there and then. Okay. Yeah.
So you're very in tune with your conscious and unconscious states. Okay, cool. Exactly. All right. But with poetry now, yeah. Is it, what do you like? What makes you not decide to be, let's say, a singer, for instance, or a rapper?
Trust me, I thought about it.
Okay.
I thought about it. True, because you find out that some spoken word artists, they go into rapping or being musician and everything. But for me, I think poetry is something that refuses to leave me alone.
Okay.
Yeah. because most of the time, because you're all, especially in university, you always have this friend, you're always hanging. I'm a social person
Okay.
when I want to be.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay. When you want to be.
Yeah,
There's a
exactly.
caveat.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So I am. So most of the time, people will just say that you look like a funking kind of person. You look like a social person. As in, are you sure you're really a poet? Are you sure you're really a writer?
So
See,
so people believe that poets are this kind of melancholic, withdrawn,
yeah,
introverted
like
people.
antisocial people and
But that's not
everything.
necessarily the case.
You understand? But now people are beginning to see the glamour in it. And I think
Okay.
that, like, for what I tell young writers is that don't try for social media. You understand? Don't just write for the comments. Don't think that because your friends are praising you that wow, this is good and everything. Don't just write because of that. Write because you want to write and study. Because for me, I think you can never be a writer if you're not a reader.
Reader. Oh, I totally agree. I totally concur
You
with
understand?
that.
So for you to be a writer, you need to read. You need to read well.
Okay.
Very, very.
Okay, so who are your inspirations, like in the spoken word category? Personally, I can't say I know any very popular spoken word artist or performer. So, but just maybe educate me.
Okay, for the Nigerian scene, I'm a big fan of Basha Muneni. Yeah,
I will probably look him up.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Basha Muneni. I like his charisma. I like his confidence on stage, and it's very audible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then I like DK Chukwumerije.
Oh yeah.
DK is very good. He's very good. His poetry is very, very simplified, but very good. Then there's If You Pour, there's Titi Lope, your range of them.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So internationally now,
internationally, I lean towards South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, South African.
They have a strong.
Yeah, they have a strong
poetry,
community over there. Yeah, I lean towards that. Okay. And if I'm going to mention, there's this young dude. His name is Page.
Paige or
No,
Page?
Page.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Page. It's actually very good.
Okay.
Very, very good. Then there's this lady, Tuli Zuma. She's a spoken word artist. And one thing about Tuli Zuma, people don't know is that she's actually the daughter of former president of South Africa.
Zuma.
Yeah, Zuma, Jacob Zuma.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. So I've been schooled today. I'll definitely look up some of these names, or at least if I happen to see the name somewhere, I'll be more interested in exactly. Like, okay, what's up? All right. Okay. So, but you talked about, and you gave some little advice for upcoming writers. You talk about not writing for social media. What other advice do you have for people who want to take this up as a career? What are the things they should have in mind? Major things.
Okay, this is the thing. Don't think there's a lot of money to be made in spoken word poetry. You understand? I don't think, like, for Nigerian, we're just embracing it. Okay. There's this urgency that spoken word poetry should be there right now. There was a time I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, actually Basha Mune, and I was like, why did that record label don't sign
spoken word artists? Okay.
You understand? It's becoming a thing right now, and it's like if you check some social events and everything, they always invite for they include for an artist. So I just feel that don't think about the money first. Think about the art. Yeah, don't just think about the money first. The art first should come. Okay, before the money. The money might come in later, but you need
just
to focus on
focus. And like you said before, you have to be a reader.
You have to be a reader
be able to write, and don't write for social media.
Don't write for
the comments.
Yeah,
don't write for
the comments.
Friends.
Yes.
For people's just okay. So yeah, that's good. I think I like that. That caps it all. And that brings us, guys, to the end of our edition of Audio Wheels for today. Thank you to my guest, Hader Otaki. He's a writer and spoken word performer. Thank you. I have been touched by your work today, and I appreciate it. All right. We hope to hear more from you. More like we need to. That's the thing. I think there needs to be more visibility.
Yeah,
there needs to be much more visibility. The way we have songs now, mainstream, certain artists, there needs to be a platform so that there's more visibility for your art. All right. Thanks.
And speaking of visibility, I have a book coming.
Okay, that's interesting.
Collection,
Okay, so we'll look out for that. All right, so thanks, folks, for following the show. Of course, we'll be back with another edition of Audio Wheels next week, Sunday. I am Makcit Purple Diva Raindrop. Have a beautiful, 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 beautiful week. All right, guys. Toodles.